What's up, Acolyte Squad? My name is Prince and I'm an urban acolyte. This is going to be my breakdown and discussion of the Mandalorian Chapter 10 episode called The Passenger. So look, suit up, get your armor on, get ready, and let's dive into this episode review.
This is the way.
This is the way.
All right, so if you're new here, look, we take a deeper look at the Mandalorian episodes. So we'll do a quick review and then look at the hero's journey of the Mandalorian before I talk about the three big themes that I'm tracking throughout this season. And hey, if you're new here and you're interested in taking a deeper look at the Mandalorian episodes, look, be sure to subscribe to the channel to get all of the videos that I'm posting about the Mandalorian. But okay, this episode picked up where the Marshall episode left off, with the Mandalorian heading back to see Peli Motto after he earned Boba Fett's armor after helping Cobb Vanth and the Sand People defeat a Krayt Dragon. There was the ambush where we got to see the Mandalorian unleash on a team of bounty hunters who were actually after Baby Yoda. And of course, Dinn Djarin got the drop on all of them. And hey man, it was pretty cool how he outsmarted the guy who negotiated with him to turn over Baby Yoda in exchange for a jetpack. Now, this was a cool opening action sequence, but the message that it was trying to get across to the audience was that there are still bounty hunters from the Bounty Hunters Guild on Navarro who are still coming after Dinn Djarin. So that means that somewhere out there, Moff Gideon is still sending people to get Baby Yoda. So when the Mando finally makes it back to Peli Motto, look, she's in the middle of that card game with Dr. Mandible, who looks like a giant ant. And that's supposed to be kind of like a joke, like how E.T. exists in Star Wars, because Peyton Reed directed this episode and Peyton Reed also directed Ant-Man. So there's your Ant-Man cameo. Ant-Man exists in the Star Wars universe. Now, this whole thing leads to Peli Motto brokering a deal for Dinn Djarin to deliver this frog lady to the estuary moon of Trask in the system of the gas giant Allright, where her husband is waiting to fertilize her eggs. So basically, this frog lady is about to go into menopause and she needs to get some boom boom from her old man or their family line is going to die out. So what's in it for Dinn Djarin? Well, recall what I pointed out in the last video as what I think is going to be a major theme for season 2. He needs to locate other Mandalorians who can hook him up with the location of other Mandalorian cells so that he can return Baby Yoda to the Jedi. Now, I also feel like him linking up with other cells of Mandalorians is going to pull him into a bigger story, or at least set one up, but I'll discuss that later. Getting back to the frog lady. Now, because of her eggs, they can't travel into hyperspace at all. And this presents a problem because other ships are able to track the Razor Crest out of hyperspace. We've just seen the Mando have to deal with bounty hunters still looking for Baby Yoda, and the rest of what happens in this episode, it could have been completely avoided had he been traveling through hyperspace. So as they're en route, the Razor Crest is held by the New Republic military. Everything's cool until they ask the Mando to send them a ping. Now look, your boy is not up on all the spaceship stuff in Star Wars. Look, if I were a Jedi, I wouldn't be flying anything. I'm ground-based, homie. I'll call up an Uber to transport me somewhere if you got a new mission, Yoda. So my guess is if he sent a ping, it would give up his location to anyone else nearby who might be listening or trying to track his ship's movements. So either way, I knew it was something he obviously didn't want to do, so he cuts and runs. He's actually able to ditch 2 X-Wings, which is pretty impressive, but the ice gives way and the Razor Crest falls into this ice cave that's full of these freaky spiders. Now, to make matters worse, the hull is damaged along with damage to some other systems. So now we've got another problem that is going to be an issue heading into the next episode. Now, I already said the ship crashed into a cave full of spiders, so we don't even need to get into all of that. They get attacked by a giant spider queen and her nest of smaller spiders. Would that be her brood? But anyway, the New Republic returns to save them, and it's sort of like a payback for what Dinn Djarin did in the Prisoner episode from season 1. So with the nest of spiders dealt with, Dinn is able to repair the Razor Crest enough to get them off planet and on their way to try and get Frog Woman some boom boom before her eggs expire or before Baby Yoda eats the rest of them. Okay, so like I actually enjoyed this episode, but I really have to say something about how this episode was received by some of the people in the Star Wars community. Now look, y'all Acolyte Squad OGs, y'all know that I don't pull any punches and I'm not afraid to criticize other people who cover Star Wars. So like Friday, I wanted to check Twitter to see what was happening with the Biden mail-in count in Georgia when I saw Noah and Corey from the Wolfpack Kessel Run podcast, whatever the hell it's called, and they were complaining about this episode. I think Noah said something like how it wasn't terrible but needing to advance the story. And then a few minutes later, he posted about, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to belittle people for their opinion on the episode. So now that you got your feelings hurt, like you suddenly start talking like a middle-aged black woman? See, this is why I don't listen to anything that anyone has to say when it comes to Star Wars if they weren't at least in high school when the prequels came out. That goes for podcasters, YouTubers, bloggers. Look, I don't care. Y'all can all catch the smoke. Cause look, if you were watching the Romper Room when I saw the Phantom Menace, you probably don't have anything to say about Star Wars that I actually want to hear. So here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to look at an episode and talk about, let's advance the story, when the episode obviously advanced the story, Noah. Seriously, I'm not trying to come off as a snob, but I feel like you should at least look at a damn picture of the hero's journey and just have a basic understanding of the picture before you try to talk about Star Wars. So look, Noah, let me upgrade you, dog. I'ma help you out. And maybe you and Corey can talk about this on your next podcast. You don't even have to credit me. So the hero's journey, we won't even get too deep with it. We're just going to look at 3 phases: separation, initiation, return. Every journey begins with separation, and that's what phase Dinn Djarin is in right now. He left his allies from season 1 to look for Mandalorians. He ended up hollering at Gor Koresh last episode. Gor Koresh said, I saw a Mandalorian on Tatooine. He goes to Tatooine and links up with his homegirl Peli Motto. She sends him to Mos Pelgo or Freetown if you've read Aftermath. We know what happened there. Cobb Vanth was there rocking Boba Fett's armor. He killed a Krayt Dragon and he got Boba Fett's armor, but he still needed to find some real Mandalorians. He goes back to Peli Motto. She says, hey bruh, I got this frog lady. She got these eggs. Her husband saw some Mandalorians, but he's hard up right now. He needs to get some boom boom from his old lady. If you take her to him, he'll tell you what he saw as soon as he drains his tadpoles to make some new tadpoles. Deal? So Dinn Djarin and Baby Yoda are on their way to take Frog Lady to see her frog daddy when they tear up the Razor Crest and almost get eaten by some really big spiders on some ice planet that turned out to not be Ilum. Because I mean, isn't that what all these YouTube Star Wars experts and everybody else that watches this was saying in the trailer? Oh yeah, that's definitely gotta be Ilum. They're definitely going to Ilum. Yeah, just some unknown ice planet where Dinn Djarin tears up his ship. But we're not advancing the story at all, are we? Like, we can toss out how part of the separation involves meeting temple guardians who try to prevent you from crossing the threshold, or how when you cross the threshold, sometimes there's a descent into hell where you have to face a trial. They have their literal descent. There's the trial of communication. Up to that point, Big D has been blowing off Frog Lady because they can't communicate, but she fixes that assassin droid from the prisoner episode and uses it to communicate. She challenges him and if he'll be true to his word, true to the Mandalorian code, because when they crashed, he saw the damage to the hull. Look, Dinn Djarin wanted to quit. Let's call it in. We'll be lucky to survive and make it off this planet. Forget about your eggs or getting some boom boom. Look, we'll make it when we make it. Look, we on CP time. Nah, player, that's not even how Mandos get down. Or is all that stuff just nursery rhymes and fairy tales that we tell the children? Are you really a Mandalorian? Now look, this is sounding like jokes because that's how I teach, but I'm literally breaking this down to y'all Joseph Campbell style. So you know what happened next? The temple guardians, the people guarding the gate to the threshold, it's like they offered a challenge in the form of a riddle or a trial of some sort. Well, the Mando, he manages to survive long enough for them to intercede on his behalf. He passed their trial based on his previous actions. They wanted to make sure that he wasn't with the Empire, and as it turned out, something he did in an episode that the Star Wars experts told y'all was a filler episode ends up being the solution to the riddle. It's the thing that gets him past the Temple Guardians and gets him out of the descent into the abyss. But this didn't advance the story at all, did it, Noah? You know, you go through separation, you cross the threshold, and then initiation is what awaits. Now, what will initiation be, Prince? I don't know. For me, I'm saying initiation will be him meeting his other Mandalorian cell that he's looking for, and he will have to undergo another trial. Maybe he meets another Force sensitive, like someone like some people think Sasha Banks' character could be, and he has another initiation into the ways of the Force, or something about the Jedi he's trying to find. Who knows right now? I know I don't. But either way, you can't look at this episode and say, let's advance the story, and don't understand the story in the first damn place, Noah. I'm really not trying to go in on you, but look, bro, just because you know someone who tells you leaks and all this new information, it doesn't mean that you understand the story that's in front of you. Pick up Joseph Campbell, go read the Bible, go study any piece of literature, and you might start to understand this stuff. Somebody said that too many people in the Star Wars community have this video game understanding of Star Wars. And you know what? Guess what? All of this hero's journey stuff is in Fallen Order too. It's in the video games. It's in all of Star Wars. Separation, initiation, return. Look, I haven't even played Fallen Order past Tatooine, and I know that the separation happened in the tutorial. Initiation happens when Cal meets Siri and she sends him to Bogano to finish her master's mission. Return, that's what happens in the game's final arc. Look, I told y'all this stuff is everywhere. But hey man, shout out to the lore master, because that guy told me that Star Wars needs to move away from the hero's journey. And the funny thing is you can't. That's why I'm talking about the hero's journey in Spider-Man, in the MCU, in Dragon Ball, Naruto, everywhere. Anywhere I talk, I can talk about this stuff. Look, Tim Schmoyer teaches all of his clients who have vlogs that are getting millions of views every month on YouTube to create a narrative in each video according to the hero's journey, because it's how you tell stories. But yo, this video is turning into a lecture on the importance of the hero's journey, because look, I'm a little peeved that there's all these people out here talking about Star Wars who don't actually understand Star Wars theory. Who don't understand Star Wars at all. Sorry about that. So these three things to look for as season 2 progresses, as the story expands. We're looking at Dinn Djarin's progression. And I just talked about that. We're looking to see him move into the initiation phase. Now, what does this do for Baby Yoda? And how does this episode connect to the bigger story? Okay, right now, I'm thinking the next destination will be the estuary moon of Trask in the system of the gas giant Caliban, but maybe they have to stop someplace else. We could be looking at several episodes involving Frog Lady, which means several episodes of Baby Yoda trying to eat Frog Lady's eggs. Now, the reason for that is because the Razor Crest is damaged, and I have a feeling that getting the Razor Crest repaired could be a major evolution in the next few episodes. With a damaged ship, it pretty much limits how far Dinn Djarin can travel with Baby Yoda. Right now, they are basically a huge target for anyone looking to take them out, or for any bounty hunters who are looking to retrieve Baby Yoda. Now, do you think that might play a part in how this story advances? There's not much the Mando can do when his ship is damaged. What if Frog Daddy says, yeah, you need to make a couple of jumps to the other side of the galaxy. Those Mandalorians said something about they were going to meet up on a planet just before you get to the unknown regions. Maybe Dinn Djarin lucks up on that water planet and Sasha Banks turns out to be Sabine Wren. Maybe she gives him a lift to go meet up with Bo-Katan. But look, I'm not betting on that happening. That probably won't be the story in the next episode. But what we know right now is that the story that some folks want to see that can't progress until the Razor Crest is repaired. So I think in addition to locating other Mandalorians to eventually locate some Jedi, Dinn Djarin has to get this information from Frog Daddy by delivering Frog Little Mama and their eggs. And he has to get the information about these other Mandalorians, and he needs transportation to find them unless they are on that moon. Then they're probably going to give him some kind of challenge or a trial to prove to them that he's not just a pretender in Beskar, because this guy is a foundling from the Fighting Corps. He's not part of the upper caste society of Mandalorians that we're used to seeing in the Clone Wars and in Star Wars Rebels. So hey, I hope you guys didn't mind me getting on Noah and Corey, but I mean, teaching is what I do. And it's really time that someone starts taking all these young bucks to school. Look, man, Trump time is over. People can't just hop on here and say anything. And Mike Zero ain't the only person who does it. Let's be real. It's okay to theory craft and speculate for fun, but I want to hear folks who actually want to give me something that I can use in the real world and not give me fake news. But that's just me. That's the community that I'm trying to be a part of. What about you? But anyway, I hope by the time you guys are seeing this that both my episode 1 and 2 reviews will be up. Again, I got behind because of my trip to Chiang Rai last week to check out some temples. And I'll be talking about that trip, meditation, kung fu, all that real Jedi stuff a lot on my personal channel starting in 2021. I've literally got about 20 hours worth of unseen video footage to go through, and we're getting ready to move soon. So it might be a minute before I can really start posting to that channel again. And it'll probably be the same for my Final Fantasy XIV channel, the anime reactions / heroes journey discussions channels, all of that. I'll pick up with all of those when we get moved and I have a studio where I can record and edit, like whenever I get the urge to work. As for this channel, I mean, no worries. I'm gonna be posting here and I'll be working a lot on changes to the back end. I really can't say much about what's in the pipeline, but I will do my best to get Mandalorian videos out at least every Sunday through the rest of the season. And then when WandaVision starts up in December, after the Mandalorian ends, I'll probably post those reviews on Sundays too. So look, the next episode looks like it will take place on that water planet from the trailer. So we might find out who Sasha Banks is. So if you haven't seen it already, be sure to check out my video about the Sasha Banks Sabine Wren fan theory and let me know who you think her character might be. But that's all I got for this video. So thanks for watching. I'm tired. Y'all keep on breathing and I'll see you on the next video.